My name is Ji-Eun at University from South Korea, and I hope you had a little chance to learn about Korean verb syntax from previous talk, and it's time for us to move on lexicosemantic components of cross-linguistic and multicultural effects on animal fluency measures in persons with aphasia. So this is the results of the international collaborations between Ewha University in Korea and Boston University in US. And this is disclosure for the study, and this work is partly supported by the National Research Foundation of Korea. So the primary purpose of the study is to enhance our understanding of the impact of the cross-linguistic and multicultural differences on animal fluency performance in persons with aphasia. As we all know, already learned from the previous talk, the verbal fluency measure is one of the frequently measured tools to evaluate the word level of the lexical retrieval strategies in persons with aphasia. And there must be a lot of psycholinguistic and ethnographic factors that are associated with the animal fluency task. For example, in terms of the psycholinguistic factors, we can think about lexical frequency and semantic typicality and imageability. And under the ethnographic factors, there must be cultural differences or environmental factors and differences in educational backgrounds that might affect performance on verbal fluency measures. So among many these features, we specifically focused on zodiac animal features in East Asian cultures. So in East Asian cultures, there are 12 zodiac animals, and zodiac animals are used to represent a year in a 12-year cycle. So zodiac animals cycle through a repeating 12-year sequence. For example, it starts from the rat through the pig, and this year, 2024, is the year of dragon. So actually, this year is my year, and that means you can calculate my age, and especially for when you talk about the age, the zodiac animal of the year when you're born. When you communicate with older adults in Korea, they are very good at quickly calculating the age. So just based on the zodiac animals, so you gotta be careful. So there certainly are cultural and generation-dependent factors associated with this animal fluency. So that is exactly the motivation of the current study. So lexical semantic representation can be influenced by linguistic and cultural backgrounds. So for example, those who have been exposed to zodiac animal cultures, their lexical semantic representation on zodiac animals became more salient compared to those who have not been exposed to zodiac animal cultures. So in order to test this hypothesis, we specifically addressed the research questions as follows. So we investigated whether there are significant differences in the total number of correct responses in two groups. One group analysis focuses on the persons with aphasia, and the other one is about older, aging adults. And we also included English speakers with 2 Korean speakers. And other dependent variables included the number of zodiac animals and the ratio of the zodiac animals as well. And the ratio of the zodiac animals is calculated by the number of zodiac animals divided by the total number of correct responses. Finally, we were interested in which animal items are actually the most significant predictors in differentiating these 2 language groups for each persons with aphasia and older aging groups as well. So this is demographic information from persons with aphasia group. So we had a total of 37 Korean-speaking individuals with aphasia. They were all monolingual Korean speakers. And 30 participants were speaking English as their native language participated in the study, and there were significant differences in Asian education between the two language groups, so we put Asian education as covariates in the statistical analysis. However, the aphasia severity indexed by the aphasia quotients from Korean WAP and WAP English version, the AQ was matched between the two language groups. So this is the demographic information from older adults, and 15 Korean individuals and English individuals participated in the study for each language group, and age and educations were matched. So we used the 60-second time frame paradigm for the animal fluency task, and we performed 3 types of analysis. The first one is total response-based analysis, and the second one is the item-based inventory analysis. Finally, we performed the lasso regression analysis. So the first analysis focuses on the total number of correct responses and number of zodiac animals and the ratio of zodiac animals. So for the statistical analysis, we employed linear mixed models with group as a fixed factor and participants as random factor. And as I said, for people with aphasia group analysis, we just put the age and education as covariates. So these are the results from the aphasia group. So English-speaking individuals with aphasia, they produced more items, so correct responses, than Korean speakers. There were not significant differences in terms of the zodiac number of the zodiac animals between the two language groups with aphasia. However, Korean-speaking individuals with aphasia, they produced more and higher ratio of zodiac animals compared to English-speaking individuals with aphasia. And this is the results from the older adults. So there were not significant differences between the two groups in number of correct responses. However, Korean-speaking older adults, they produced more number of zodiac animals and also higher ratio of zodiac animals than English speakers. So the second part is about item-based inventory analysis that include the total number of unique animals produced by each group, and the other one is the total number of common general animal items produced by both groups. So these are the results. So Korean-speaking individuals with aphasia, they generally produced fewer different items than English-speaking individuals with aphasia. And there were 25 Korean-specific items and 51 English-specific items. And there are 46 language general items, such as dogs and cats and knives. And these results are from the older adults comparisons. Again, Korean speakers produce less number of different items than English-speaking older adults. So there were 27 Korean-specific items and 62 English-specific items. Again, there are 58 number of different items which are language general that include dogs and cats. So the final analysis based on the lasso regression analysis, and lasso regression is least absolute shrinkage and selection operator logistic-based regression model to determine the best animal items to differentiate the groups. So we used the group as dependent variable, and independent variables included all animal items. And reference group was English group as coded as 1 and Korean as 0. That indicates the positive coefficients indicate the corresponding specific animal item is more strongly loaded on English speakers, but negative coefficients indicate that the specific items is more strongly associated with the Korean speakers. So these are the results from the lasso regression analysis. So this is from the people with aphasia, and we put all 122 animal items as independent variables in lasso regression. And alligator is the strongest predictor for the English-speaking individuals with aphasia, but the tiger is the one for Korean speakers with aphasia. And this is the results from the older adults. So rhino is the strongest predictor for English-speaking older adults, but chicken is the one for Korean speakers. Then why? And overall, to summarize the last regression results, alligators and rhino are the best items to identify English speakers overall. However, tigers and chicken were the ones which identify the Korean speakers, and chicken and tiger happen to belong to zodiac animals. Interesting. So we just kept thinking why. So to summarize the results, English speakers with or without aphasia, they just generated more items and diverse item inventory compared to Korean speakers with and without aphasia. So the next one is that Korean speakers produce higher ratio of the zodiac animals. So to summarize, so on the very left picture, that is the animated map of the Korean peninsula, and tiger. So we kept thinking about why tiger comes up as a significant factor or the best item to differentiate, to identify the Korean group. So tiger is kind of the ones which has been frequently used to animate the Korean peninsula as a map, holding up the whole East Asian continent. And tiger is also the main characters that often occur in children's books and also in Korean traditional folktale. So maybe same as in rhino for Western cultures. Rhino, is the rhino familiar to the children's book? I'm not sure, I'm not educated, but rhino might be. So considering all these multicultural factors, the current study highlights the need to consider cultural and linguistic diversity in aphasia assessment, suggesting that cultural context can influence verbal fluency test performance. Thank you for listening.